Hi, my name is Kathy Ekdahl, and I'm a certified personal trainer and a TPI certified golf fitness instructor. And the name of my business is Personal Best Personal Training, but I'm here for golf girls today. And I'm really excited to present you with a yoga routine for golf. We all know that flexibility is a very important part of the golf game, and many of my clients ask me, how can yoga help me? What are the poses that make the most sense for golfers? Are there any poses that I shouldn't do? So after many months of hearing from my clients, my golfing clients, I've decided to put together this great half-hour yoga routine for you, the golfer. So we're very excited to have you. If you've never done yoga before, don't worry about it. You're going to do a great job, and I'm here for you to help you learn the best poses for your golf game. So get ready, here we go, let's do yoga together. So today I'm going to show you a yoga routine that is specific for golf. One of the questions I often get asked is, are there any poses I shouldn't do? Are there any poses that could hurt me? Because we know that yoga has thousands of poses, and the question is, what is right for us? So I just want to quickly share with you a few of my opinions about some yoga poses that I don't think are that great for us. So first of all, yoga is 4,000 years old, and 4,000 years ago, there were no computers, there were no desks, people were not sitting at their desks all day. And so people didn't develop the kind of postural abnormalities that we now see. So this yoga routine is going to address many of the common postural abnormalities that you or I may have from sitting. Many of the poses that were developed 4,000 years ago might not be appropriate for us today. So it's very important that you know what is right for you in your body, what could hurt you, what could hurt your golf game. One of the poses which I think most of us should eliminate pretty much from our lexicon altogether is a forward bend. Now you'll see many golfers, even some professional golfers, doing this, okay? That's fine for them. That's recommended by their trainer. So one of the poses that I think most of us should eliminate from our routines or from our general stretching program is a forward bend. Now a forward bend is touching your toes while standing. And when we do that, we put tremendous stress on the low back. So a forward bend might look something like this. So people will come down, you'll see golfers doing this too, and they'll be hanging off their back. And sometimes you'll see people even bounce like this in an effort to improve their flexibility. So think about that for a minute. You're taking half of your body and you're hanging off the lumbar spine. That's going to put a tremendous amount of stress. So I'd really like you to eliminate that pose from your routine. Some of the other poses which I definitely think aren't useful for the average golfer is anything that's a headstand, a shoulder stand, I'm not going to demonstrate, plow. So plow is where you lie on your back and you bring your legs up and over your head. The reason I want you to avoid all of those weight-bearing poses on the neck is you can seriously hurt your neck. Okay, so take out your forward bends, too much stress on the low back. Take out anything where you're bearing weight into your neck, and that's going to be very helpful for you to eliminate any risk of injury from yoga. Now, having said that, remember, there may be some poses here that don't feel right for you. If they don't feel right, please don't do them. Skip that part of the routine. So we're going to start, as always, down on the floor. So here I am sitting in what's called easy pose. Now the irony about easy pose is that for many people, it ain't so easy. But you can notice as I'm sitting here that my hips are flexible enough that my knees can drop down. If when you sit like this, your knees are way up in the air, you're going to create a lot of stress on your back. So oftentimes what I'll recommend that people do is take a pillow or a blanket, place it underneath your rear end and sit on that. So let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to take this block and I'm going to use this as a pillow. Not very comfortable, but here we are. So now Look how nice and relaxed my knees are. So never be afraid to take a cushion or a pillow when you're sitting. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sit here and we're going to take 2 or 3 minutes to just do some breath work. Now in the course of this class here, I might only spend a few breaths, but for you, take as much time as you need to. So what does it mean to do breath work in a yoga class? What it means is that you take time to focus inward and explore your breath. Now, in a previous video, we did some breath work, and it's extremely important for golf. So if you're not the kind of person that's ever spent a lot of time just sitting and breathing, please do it now. So we're going to sit in easy pose with a back that's very straight if possible. And I just want you to close your eyes and just take a few moments to just be here. So what does it mean to take a deep, full breath? It means that you're allowing all of the muscles in the abdominal area to expand and contract to help with breathing. If you're always holding your stomach in, you're never going to get a full deep breath. So in yoga, we let the stomach distend on the inhale, compress on the exhale. It's called a 3-part breath. And we've talked about it before in our yoga book. So the 3-part breath involves breathing into the abdomen, the rib cage, all the way up to the heart, all the way up to the chest. And you want to feel all 3 parts of your body expanding with the breath and contracting with the breath. So we're just going to take a couple minutes to feel the expansion in your belly, the rib cages, all the way up to your heart, and then exhale all the way back down. Do that a couple more times. See how it feels for you. Once you feel nice and calm, we're ready now to really focus on the poses in yoga. I'm going to take my block out from underneath me and lay down on the ground. Come on down and join me. So let's start on our back. Here, I'm lying down. My arms are relaxed. My knees are bent. I'm going to pull both knees into the chest and give myself a nice big hug. Okay? This is going to open up the low back. This is a lot like a forward bend, but without all the additional stress of hanging off your lumbar ligaments. Then I'm going to let one foot drop forward, and I'm going to exhale and hold. So this is knee to chest, and I want you to stay here for a few breaths. Remember when you're breathing that you should feel everything expanding on the inhale and contracting on the exhale. So take a deep inhale, and now exhale, bring the opposite leg in, and inhale, releasing that leg down. So again, knee to chest pose. Just stay here for a couple breaths. Just feel comfortable for a couple breaths. Now let's bring both knees in again. Knees are over the abdominal area. I'm going to release my arms to the side, and I'm going to gently twist my knees to one side. This is my favorite yoga pose. And when it comes to golf, this is also probably one of the most valuable poses. If you think about this pose, lying side twist, we are separating shoulder turn from hip turn. Here, my hips are turning with my shoulders still. What I'm really doing, and you'll see when I go to the other side, take an inhale, exhale, bring the knees in, and then inhale in the opposite direction. What you'll really see that I'm doing is I'm twisting through my upper back. That's very, very important, okay? We're not so much getting the hips as we are the upper back. And then you're just going to relax here for a couple minutes, okay? Or maybe just a couple breaths for the scope of this class. And now we're going to come back center. Keeping your feet on the floor, we're going to hike up into bridge. Now, bridge is a classic yoga pose, Palms will be on the ground, head is nice and relaxed, and I'm pressing through the heels. So I'm going to inhale up into bridge, and I'm going to hold this position, okay? So here in bridge, what you'll see is that my body is straight from my knees to the crown of my head, and my shoulders are relaxed. I'm engaging my gluteal muscles. So for golf, getting those glutes strong is very important. And I'm relaxing my arms. So I'm going to take an inhale through my nose, and I'm going to exhale back down. If your back is cranky, give yourself a hug. Okay, always go back to this pose if your back is cranky. Then we're going to place the feet back onto the floor, and again, I'm going to come up into bridge. Now here in this bridge, it's a little different than maybe a yoga bridge. In a real serious yoga bridge, the feet will be way in like this. I don't like that. Generally, I like a bridge where your feet are slightly away from you. So we're going to stay here. Nice deep breath. And one more time, inhale. And then exhale and release down. So now we're going to work on lengthening through the hamstrings. And one of the things I like to do in my classes is bring the knees up over the belly button and just bicycle your legs. So you'll notice we're easing into this flow, into this yoga flow. Here's how I'm warming up my legs, and I'm going to get my yoga strap in a second. It's very important, and I'm going to go backwards, that before you try to stretch intensely in yoga, that you have warmed up the muscles. So I'm going to reach here. It's always good to have your tie near you. And I'm going to lasso my foot. So I am lengthening through the back of this leg, okay? Now I'm taking the tie and I'm actually putting it here on the ball of my foot. And we're going to stay here. And we're just going to let the hamstring release. Now, if I have this on the ball of the foot and I pull down, I'm going to get a really nice Achilles tendon stretch. So let's keep this right here, okay? I'm actively pulling the ball of my foot down to get a stretch. Now, if you're flexible, slide the other leg down. Now the stretch will intensify. And you're just going to hold here. Relax the arms. Keep the arms nice and relaxed at your side. Okay? No stress, and you never want to pull it so far that, you're causing too much pain. It should be a gentle stretch. Now, one thing I've been doing with my classes recently is I'm going to put the tie in one hand, and then keeping the other hip on the ground, I'll show you when we get to the other side, I'm going to allow the leg to drop out to the side. This is a very important pose to lengthen through the groin muscles. And I want to keep this opposite hip on the floor. If my whole body twists over, I've lost my core strength. So here, we want to keep this leg down. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring this in and go to the other side. So again, start with the leg bent. Here we are with the tie around the ball of the foot. And then inhale, slide the leg down. Feels so good. One of the problems, however, with this stretch is oftentimes this is the only stretch people know. So I want to caution you and tell you that if your hamstrings are already nice and flexible, you don't want to work too long on this, right? We want to address the areas that are tight. The areas that are flexible, they're already fine. We don't need to deal too much with them. Keep this leg pressed on the floor, and then again, I'm going to let this leg go out to the side. As I said on the other side, if your hip comes up, you've lost it. You want this down, and let that leg come out to the side. Feels really, really good. So we'll stay here for a couple more breaths, deep breaths to the belly. And then we're going to bring the leg back in. So now we're going to come up to a kneeling position, okay? So I'm in what's called a full kneeling position. Now sometimes my clients have knee pain when they're in this full kneeling position. So a little trick is I've bought these kneelers, okay? These are wonderful for yoga, and if you either are at home on a wood floor or you're in a yoga studio that doesn't have a lot of cushioning, use your kneeler. Otherwise, we'll put that away for now. We're going to start in cat and cow, an all fours position. Okay. So here we are in an all fours position, and we're going to start with something called cat and cow. Now we all know that the spine moves during golf. We don't want the lumbar spine to twist, but we do want the lumbar spine to extend and to round, and that's what cat and cow is. So here we are in a neutral spine. I'm going to take an inhale through my nose, and then I'm going to exhale. Drop my head down, tuck my hips under, and open up my low back. I'm in a C position, and as we know, the C position of the spine is the same position as at impact. Now I'm going to inhale through my nose and come into cow or dog, whatever you call it. And here I have an arch. And that is something that you'll often see at an address. So at an address, when you're addressing the golf ball, you might want to have a little arch. So here we are, and then I'm going to exhale and tuck under and drop my head. And then I'm going to inhale one more time and make that nice arch on my back. I'm keeping my shoulders away from my ears. And then I'm going to exhale one last time, really pushing my hands into the floor, inhaling one last time, shoulders away, and then finding neutral. So let's exhale into neutral. So here I am in a flat back. That's what neutral means. We're going to come into bird dog. So curling your toes under, you're going to inhale and lift one arm and one leg, and you're going to hold this. It's a lot easier to hold, for me than maybe for you. So don't stress with it. Then release it down. Let's do the opposite side. Left arm, right leg in this case. And I'm really pushing into this right shoulder. I'm trying to strengthen through the right arm. Okay? Then I'm going to release. I'm going to do the right arm and the left leg again. Now sometimes people have very tight shoulders. If as you lift the arm, your whole body comes with it, don't lift the arm all the way. Just keep it in this position. And then one more time, here. Okay? So my arms are not tight, my shoulders are not tight. I can get into this position where the arm moves very beautifully, aside from the shoulder blades. If you can't do it, don't stress about it. I'm going to come up to a full kneeling position now. So here we are kneeling. Bring one foot forward, and notice my foot is in front of my knee. Pressing slightly forward, squeeze the glutes, stay tall. Notice I'm not pushing all the way forward here. Squeeze the glutes, stay tall, feel the length. For a little additional bonus here, you can bring your arms behind you, clasp your hands together, and squeeze your shoulder blades. And breathe. Really breathe. When you breathe with the arms behind you, you're stretching your chest muscles. I'm going to release and go to the other side. Now, speaking of shoulders, there are many people who can't get their hands back here. And so if that's the case, don't force that because you can hurt your shoulder. What you can do is take this tie. Here we are, we're coming onto the opposite leg. Now I'm using the tie with a little bit of distance between. Now look how nice I can get my shoulders back. All right, so don't feel like you have to struggle with this. Use a tie. And this is a taekwondo tie, but you can use a belt, anything that works for you. Notice again, I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together and I'm stretching through here. Okay, so that's a kneeling hip flexor stretch or a kneeling warrior. Some of you might have seen that as a warrior pose. So we've really covered quite a lot of base with just these basic poses here. We've opened up the chest, we've contracted the upper back, we've done some twisting, which is so integral to golf, and we've also opened up the hips area. Remember in golf, the rotation is from the hips or the upper back, and or. The rotation is never from the lumbar spine. But the problem is, if your hips are tight or your upper back is tight, you're going to always over twist your back. So far, for golf anyway, we've worked our glutes, we've worked our lumbar spine and our abdominals, we've opened up the hips in many different ways, and we've opened up the upper back and chest and shoulders. Pretty good stuff for just a few poses down on the floor. Hi, Teddy. Now we're going to come into down facing dog. Okay, stop. Teddy, go down, go down, go down. Here we are. I'm going to curl my toes under, and pressing up through my hands, I'm going to exhale into down facing dog. This is an incredible pose for lots of different things. Number one, lengthening through your hamstrings. Number two, working and lengthening through your lats and building shoulder strength. So here, I'm going to stay here for 3 breaths. And if you're the kind of person that has pain in this pose, I want you to come out of it. Just stay in it as long as you can without pain. Notice that my heels are going down to the floor. You know, I have pretty decent hamstring flexibility. If you're up here, don't stress about it. Just let the heels melt down. Keep your knees bent, okay? We don't want a stiff leg. Keep your knees bent. Now, I'm going to bring this leg through. I'm pulling it through. Notice how I actually pulled the entire leg through. This is called runner's lunge. And this is going to look familiar to you. I'm making big length in the front of my hip right now. Then I'm going to drop down, come up, and here we are in the kneeling warrior, which we already did. Take a deep inhale into your heart. Exhale, release the hands down and go back to down facing dog. So here I am again in down facing dog. And then I'm going to bring the other leg through. Now don't worry if you can't get that leg through. Okay, I'll show you a intermediate transition point for that. Then I'm going to put the knee down. I'm going to come up and I'm going to really open up my heart. And again, same pose as we did earlier, right? Okay, I'll release my hands. You're going to go back to down facing dog. Okay, again, knees are bent, hips are pressing back. Okay, now I'm going to bring this leg through again. Okay, and if you have the flexibility, place one hand on the floor and turn your body. What a beautiful twist this is. My hips are stable. My upper back is twisting, just like in your backswing in golf. Okay, and then I'm going to release, and I'm going to bring this leg back. Here we are in down facing dog. It comes through, and then I'm going to twist this way. Okay? Really nice pose. Now, let me show you an intermediary step from your down facing dog, because many people cannot get that leg all the way through like I did. So, if you can't do that, no big deal. Here I am, down facing dog. I'm going to put my knees down. I'm going to bring one leg through, and then here I am. I'm going to twist just like we did earlier. And I'm breathing the whole time, I hope. Nice big twist here. Knee goes down, coming up. Here I am again, stretching through the chest, opening up the front of the body. Big deep inhale. Exhale. Release the hands down. One more time. Here we go to our down facing dog. Use any variation you'd like to. Maybe we'll use the easier variation. Leg comes through. Here. Twist. What a great golf pose this is. Release down. And now I'm going to stretch my chest one more time. Using the tie if you need to, right? No problem. No problem. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Relax. Okay, so what we did is some very gentle warm-ups, and then we did a flow this is what this is called, of down facing dog, runner's lunge with a twist, kneeling warrior with a chest opener. If you just do that, you are really going to start to improve your golf fitness. Let me show you a fun, well, fun might not be the operative word, but a fun kneeling abdominal exercise. So here I am in that full kneeling position that we were in earlier. Now in full kneeling, I have to draw my stomach in and I have to draw my glutes in. Those two things, let me show you the side view, will take me from here to that. This is what we want, this nice neutral here. So, breathing. It's hard to hold your stomach in and breathe at the same time. So you're going to try to find space in your rib cage or up through your back. Hands are going to come to the heart. This is called Namaste pose. Okay? And I'm going to bring my arms up over my head now. So I'm going to inhale, bring the arms up, grab one wrist. Okay? Contract your glutes and gently go to the side. So what I'm doing is I'm stabilizing my core with my glutes and my abs. I'm really pulling them in. And then I'm working my lateral muscles. And lateral muscles along the rib cage, the obliques, the lats, big time golf muscles. So I'm really stabilizing my core and working as I lean to the side. Now I'm going to come back up. I'm going to release the arms all the way down, really paying attention to my posture. And then again, I'm going to inhale up, grab the wrist, squeeze the glutes, exhale to the side. Now, once you're there, your body will want to twist. So keep your glutes under, pull on that arm, and get a really nice opening through the entire rib cage and lat area. I'm going to take a deep inhale and exhale. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to release my arms down. You could do that 2 or 3 times. So that's called reed, or a kneeling reed, a full kneeling reed. Reed meaning R-E-E-D, as in the wind blows, the reed goes with the wind, but it never breaks. It can withstand the wind as it's blowing it right to left. All right, so that's a nice floor series. I'm going to stand up now and do a standing series for you that's going to help you with your strength and your balance. So come on up. So here I am standing, and we all know that posture is extremely important for golf. And unfortunately, a lot of us spend time over a desk. We might be rounded forward, our head is forward, and then we get to address the golf ball and we're like this. We don't even know we're like that. Our body just knows, hey, this is the posture I've been in for 8 hours. I'm just going to keep this posture. So standing poses help with posture, but also help with balance. And I think that's something that is so integral to your golf game. So we're going to start with a very simple balancing pose. Once we do this balancing pose, we'll be able to move into some strength poses that will again help your posture. So what I want you to do is stand with your feet pretty close together. You know, some people might want to be a fist or two apart, whatever's comfortable for you. And then your hands are going to go to your heart. Now, all I want you to do right now is practice balancing. So stand on one leg. And you want to have a quiet mind while you do this. The hardest part about balancing is not being able to do it. When you can't do it, your mind gets very frenetic. And your mind might be saying, I can't do this. This is too hard. What am I doing? Let it go. Just let it go. So now I'm going to go to the other side. By the way, this pose is called Tadasana, which means mountain pose. So now we're going to go to the other leg. I have a nice tall body. I am standing tall, engaging my glutes, engaging my rib cage as I bring this leg up. And again, I'm going to let my mind release, okay? I'm not judging myself as I attempt to balance. So if you're a righty, when do you use your balance most? In your finish. So think about the golf swing. As you come across the body, you do what's called posting up. So right now, I'm on the outside of my left leg, and all my weight should be on that side, right? So if you're a righty, make sure your left leg balance is good. If you're a lefty, make sure your right leg balance is good. Once we've tested our balance, we can assess where to go next. So with your feet together, one place you might go is you might be able to take this leg and bring it all the way up here into your thigh. This is called tree pose, and it's wonderful for balance. Maybe you can't keep your leg up here. This would be a nice variation here. Notice how open my hip is. My arch fits perfectly on my calf. And again, I'm balancing through this side. If that's too hard for you, the easiest version is just place your heel there, but open up that hip. Okay, so I'm still working on my balance. I'm still working on opening the hip, and I'm quiet. I'm very quiet in my mind and in my body. Now I'm going to shift to the other side. Again, you choose your weapon. You choose what works for you. Some days this works for me, others it doesn't. And I'm working on my balance, and I'm quieting my mind, and I'm trying not to get distracted. Beautiful. Tree pose. So work with an easy variation and move forward. Let's come into a warrior pose now. So there are many different types of warrior. The kind of warrior we're going to do now is called Warrior 2. And the first thing I've done is change my foot position. This foot is slightly kitty corner. This foot is pointing straight ahead. I'm going to start with my hips facing forward, bring the arms up, and then gently, all I'm going to do is bend here into the right leg. And then I'm going to look over my shoulder. And I'm just going to be here and be present with this. So there's a lot of things this pose is doing. It's working on opening through the hips. It's working on leg strength, arm strength, and posture. And I'm going to spend a couple breaths here. Do you need shoulder strength and arm strength in golf? Absolutely. This is a great way to start. If for any reason you find that your arms are too fatigued, just relax them down. Work on just the hips. Now all I'm going to do is turn in the opposite direction. So now you'll see that this foot is pointing towards the wall. This is kitty corner. I'm going to inhale, bringing my arms up, and then I'm going to exhale, pressing that knee forward. And I'm just going to take my time here. An important piece for you to know is that this knee, front knee, needs to stay over the foot. You don't want the knee in, you don't want the knee out. Just straight over the foot, because that's what's best for your knee. And otherwise, if you find you're like this, release your shoulders down. Okay? Building arm strength here, building upper back strength, building postural awareness. And I'm going to release in. Beautiful. Finally, before we finish, I'm going to have you turn both feet out. Okay? Notice they're both angled out. I want you to drop down in through your groin muscles. Release your arms here and just be present. So if you have very tight groin muscles, it's going to pull your knees forward. If that happens to you during this pose, back out. This is called goddess. And you want to just be present here. You're really working your hips and legs. And when you feel that you've had enough, reach out into star as far as you can go, really reach, and then step together, and you're done. We did some very gentle poses on the floor. We did some kneeling poses and some sitting poses, and then a couple standing poses. But that's a wonderful flow to get you going. We've addressed flexibility and strength at the same time, and we've worked almost every major muscle group in your body. So remember, if you're a Golf Girls member, to check out your Yoga for Golf ebook, read about the poses and what body parts they can help and stretch and strengthen, and then get right on the mat and begin to practice yoga. Yoga is a practice. You want to practice it at least 2 to 3 times a week. to make a difference in your golf game. And I promise you that if you do practice 2 to 3 times a week, your golf game will definitely improve and your risk of injury will go down. So this is Kathy Ekdahl for golfgirls.com, and it's been my pleasure to provide this class for you. I hope you enjoy it. Hello, Teddy. This is my dog, Teddy. Teddy does down-facing dog too, don't you, sweetie? And he's the one that you saw in the middle of the videos. Did you say hi, Teddy? Huh? There we go.